If you spent 5 minutes on Twitter, first of all, I'm sorry. Second, you already know what this is about. mrbeast posted a video, so we're at the point in the wheel of internet drama where we're mad at Mr. Jimmy Beast. This time, it's because Jim used his money to pay for a surgery that would restore the sight of 1,000 blind people and made it into a video and posted it on YouTube. So some of the more far left-leaning crowd are upset with this, and while I'm in between on this topic, I'm going to try my best to explain why the left-leaning people are upset, and like all problems, it's capitalism's fault. This isn't to say that I don't have my issues with Mr. James Beast at all. I haven't seen the video in question, of course, but I don't think that'll be an issue because those complaining about it, I'm pretty sure haven't seen it either. They read the headline, saw the thumbnail, and got upset. I'm kidding, I did watch it myself, but I'm not kidding about the people whining it without actually seeing it. Now, the issue people are having with this isn't with Jimbo himself doing a good deed. They're upset about the commodification of suffering that his brand and content has popularized and has resulted in the supposed beastification of the platform. Beast Boy is a man with a lot of money who uses his platform to help people, and he's reaching the point of realizing that no matter what he does as far as philanthropy, there will be people who don't support his choice to turn it into content. Basically, these people believe that if you commodify doing a good deed, you're not doing a good deed at all, you're doing a capitalism porn. Capitalism porn is basically anytime you throw money at a problem and solve it. A problem that affects potentially millions, but a problem that is caused, exacerbated, or only exists because of the predatory nature of capitalism. You know, money goes to the top of the pyramid and doesn't come back down. Capitalism makes the problem worse by not being able to support the people at the bottom of the pyramid, the ones that are holding everything up. But because of content like Jim's, we idolize his charitable actions and say, see, capitalism works, ignoring or refusing to discuss the issues capitalism caused to put the people he saved in that situation in the first place. Capitalism porn is anything the media can take and say, see, if it wasn't for capitalism, all these people Jimmy helped wouldn't get help. But turning a blind eye to discussing the fact that if the government provided better care, these people being saved wouldn't be in the situation that required Mr. Beast's help in the first place. I do agree with the sentiment of capitalism porn because it has been shown dozens of times. Anytime someone gets their life saved by a GoFundMe, you see the papers talking about how this is a miracle, neglecting the flawed healthcare system in the US that is causing them to use GoFundMe as healthcare in the first place. Jimmy himself has even said recently in a tweet that he was surprised that this was a problem that he could just throw money at to fix. That the government should be helping these people. Yeah, he's starting to figure it out, which is why I think a lot of billionaires or millionaires don't do direct charitable outreach like this, because finding out that just throwing money at these problems can fix it, well, that makes you trust the system that let you prosper in the first place and others suffer less and less. And I don't think rich people like knowing that, or would like to risk having that thrown back in their face so frequently. Money that the 1% hoards. And let me be clear about this. Jimmy is rich, but he's not in the 1%. A 1% is someone who is less than 1% of the population who owns most of the nation's wealth. Someone who has more money than an entire country. People like Bezos and Musk. Jimmy is rich, but not that rich. But I mean, he's still pretty rich compared to me, someone who lives on food stamps. And of course, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Anytime you buy a product, you're buying something that was made with suffering. You buy a pack of M&Ms. Oops, the Mars Corporation uses slave labor and child labor to harvest cocoa beans. You buy a bottle of water. Oops, Nestle steals water from poor areas at 10 cents a gallon and sells it back to them for a 10 times profit. Even buying something made in America is still buying a product of capitalism that exploits underpaying their staff and overpaying people who just own the name. But Jimmy is, as he said on Twitter, doing exactly what everyone on Twitter says for the rich to do. Give away your money if you have more than you need. Don't live a life of excess while others suffer. Something that I personally believe in myself. If I ever get to the point that I'm, thriving, I will more than give up my money to people who need it more than me. Then when he does do this, he gets shit on because he turned it into content. I remember when gay people weren't allowed to marry, and the most important thing to gay people at the time was awareness. Make people aware of the suffering going on around you so that you don't ignore what's happening. So you can actually help people that are suffering. What Jim Bob is doing is awareness. He is saying, look at this problem that you can throw money at to fix. What he is doing would be exploitative if he didn't put that money that he made through YouTube back into his philanthropic efforts. But he does do that. He operates at a loss. He wouldn't be asking for sponsors so frequently if he didn't operate at a loss. But what he is doing here is actually in service of leftism without you or him knowing it. He is showing people, look at how easy this is to fix. I just gave them money and the problem went away. He is highlighting the problem and the solution. And there are plenty of leftist YouTubers who only propose issues without solutions. During the pandemic, we all saw that the government can do more for us and chooses not to. This month, I'll be losing $100 a month in food stamps because of COVID relief being taken away. We all know they can do more for us, and they should. We wake up every day and go to work to make this country function. We spend our money to make this economy function, and they can't even give us healthcare in return for our work. With all we give to our nation, I think it's about time that they start giving something back to us. And Mr. Beast highlights that issue too, though he is definitely unaware that he is doing so. He even states in this video, the entire problem can be fixed with a 10-minute surgery. Blindness could be cured, but nobody wants to pay for it. Do you think people would stop and pay more in taxes to cure the blind? You can't even get people to pay more in taxes to stop people from starving in their own cities. Mr. Beast is a side effect of the problem, not the problem itself, or the cause. This energy you're wasting on this would be better directed at the government. Did you know that the IRS doesn't audit the rich for not paying their taxes? Taxes that pay for our schools, roads, and food stamps, and could pay for a healthcare program? The IRS doesn't do it because it would cost them too much to do it. Maybe we should start with the real problem here, the 1%, the government, and not a dude who just gave people the ability to see. If you need people to be angry at, look at the effects of Mr. Beast's presence on the platform, the beastification of YouTube. There are people emulating what Mr. Beast does, but not helping people. There are people going to other countries and filming them saying effectively what is, damn bitch, you live like this?
These people actually live here.
And showing off poor people like a fucking sideshow.
Look at all the kids outside waiting. Hello!
And they aren't helping them even a little bit. Mr. Beast benefits from a broken system, and what he does feeds into the capitalist lie. But we have bigger problems than a guy who wants to play internet Jesus. We have people actually exploiting people and pocketing that cash. The rich, the government, the media pushing capitalist porn, and the YouTubers who pretend to be like Jimmy without actually doing any good. Where do I sit on the issue? Capitalism is fucking exhausting. If you hate what Jimmy does, fix the system that enables him and you won't have to see it anymore. Start with the real problem, not someone who is trying his best to patch what he can. He has a right to make this snide tweet, because being a content creator means you're constantly under a microscope. There is no right thing he could have done here. Someone would have found an issue with something. He is commodifying suffering, but the gains from it is put right back into fixing other things that he can fix. Honestly, I'm way more annoyed with what his content has done to the platform. Everyone tries to be like him and remove their personality from their content in order to be as digestible and marketable as possible. The constant engagement farming ruining our attention spans and the exploitation from people who just don't get it. It's really sucking the art out of this platform. The worst part of this is people who feel like they have to rely on a rich person growing empathy and deciding to fix their problem, because that's more reliable than the system actively making their lives worse. I do think this could have been done better. I would have loved to learn more about each of these people, but instead we're fed it in this YouTube high engagement format. We aren't given an opportunity to feel and understand what this truly means to each person. I like the interviews. They should have been longer. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Yes, what he makes can be viewed as exploitation, because everything in capitalism is exploitation. But I don't think any of these people opened their eyes, saw the sky and trees, and thought, wow, I feel so exploited. You think these people don't know this system is fucked? They know it firsthand better than anyone. It's just really shitty how something like this that should be free is having the bill footed by one dude on YouTube. Where's my one dude? Can I get me a one dude? I don't need $10,000. Just maybe $1,000. Just enough to cover food and stuff like that for a while. That'd be cool.